Welcome back to the Media Society. I'm your host, Anthony Mitchell, and we have a special guest tonight, Miss Liz Rose, over in Australia. She's over there playing with those dangerous spiders and snakes and stuff that they have, the brown but they got quokkas too, though, the really coolest animal on the planet, actually. All right, Miss Liz, let's get back into this and get a little bit deeper about. We're going to talk about reading and sending signals throughout. So, the mechanics of body language. You've said people can't not communicate, even in silence. They're sending messages. So, what are some of the most powerful nonverbal cues that most of us ignore?
Yeah, absolutely. We are always communicating, even when we think we're saying nothing. So silence, posture, the way that we breathe, they all speak volumes. And some of the most powerful nonverbal cues that we tend to look are things like posture and eye contact, facial tension, hands, and stillness. That's one of my favorites. With posture, are you collapsed inwards or are you standing with open alignment and nicely and calmly? Your eye contact, are you just staring intensely, or are you steady and relaxed in your eye contact? So, you know, having the right eye contact communicates presence, respect, and self-trust. Um, avoiding eye contact, that can come off as disinterest or even dishonesty. So
Mm,
it's really important that we get these things right. And in terms of stillness, most people fidget or they shift when they're nervous, but calm stillness, so not frozen, but just nicely grounded, that signals self-possession and control. But the key to all of it is congruence. And I talk about that a lot. So when your body language matches your words and it matches your energy, then people feel it and they trust it. And
mhm.
that's where you can begin to influence, not from talking more or saying clever things, but from communicating clearly without even saying a word.
So, what are some of the small shifts that people can make to have a big internal change in general?
Yeah, I think one of the most powerful is just simply adjusting your posture. So, standing tall with your shoulders relaxed and your feet grounded, that instantly, just that on its own, it changes how you feel in your body and how others respond to you.
Mhm.
Breath would be another one. So, a slow, deep breath that tells your nervous system that you're safe. It steadies your voice and it helps you to think clearly. And even holding eye contact just a moment longer can shift the dynamic. And that alone shows presence and self respect. So, they're small physical anchors, but they have a big ripple effect and they change your inner state and how you show up in the world.
Wow, man, you're
Yeah.
making me feel self-conscious here.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So you always make interesting points when I go on and one pops up either on YouTube or Instagram. You make these great points. What really what in your life really led you to say, "Hey, I need to help men," because men are just like having problems.
Yeah, look, I think it wasn't my intention to specifically start out focusing on men, and I do still focus somewhat on women, but the majority of my content does sort of seem to lean more towards men. I've worked with people from all backgrounds, but I keep seeing over and again, I see high functioning men who are silently struggling. So they struggle with pressure, presence, their relationships,
Hmm.
and I think that there's so little space for men to explore confidence without shame or ego. So, one of the things I did recently was create the course specifically for men, just to give them that space to reconnect with their power in a grounded, real way. And because also they've been the ones by far that have started reaching out for help. So, it's evident that they need something and they're wanting something. They're interested and engaged and they want help. So, yeah.
Makes sense. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So let's roll into dating because we got some letters coming up and people want to. We told people, hey, we're gonna have Liz on the show, and we got some letters. But let's talk about dating. A lot of men
Great.
think confidence means puffing up, sitting wide, maybe being overly intense. What does real confidence look like to you? Like what? How do you present confidence to people and tell them confidence should be?
Yeah, great. Good question. Well, I think the first thing that I really try to communicate strongly is that true confidence it doesn't need to be performed. So as you say, it's not about puffing up or dominating space, but it's about being grounded within yourself, relaxed, fully present. So, in dating or social settings, that might mean just leaning in with general interest, listening without needing to impress, and letting your energy speak more than your words because people feel that kind of calm, steady presence and they trust it.
Hmm. You know,
Mm.
do you know the number one thing a lot of people, well, I won't say number one, but a lot of people say, oh, I can never read a woman. A woman is just too complex to try to understand. You know, so let's flip the lens. How can men learn to read women better in general? You talk about it throughout a lot of your Instagram reels, but how, like if you had to summarize it, how can they just read a woman better?
Yeah, it's a great question, Anthony, because confidence isn't just about how you show up, but it's how you tune into how you tune into how others are,
Hmm.
responding to you or the cues that they're giving. So, I think the first thing is start watching their eyes, their posture, and their energy shift. So, uh, is she leaning in or pulling back? Are their expressions matching their words? So, if someone, for example, if someone says, I'm fine, but their body says otherwise, then
Hmm.
you can trust what the body's showing you. So the
Yeah,
more present you are, the more you'll start picking up on the small cues that most people miss. And that's what builds real connection and trust. Yeah.
gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
And have you dealt with a lot of Americans in any of your programs?
um, no, I have been on a couple of American podcasts though. So
Okay.
yeah,
Well, yeah, you're on
yeah,
this one too. So let me.
yeah,
Well, what's interesting to
yeah.
me, we'll have to have you back eventually because what I want to know is, like, when you're dealing with, like, say, Australian men, British men, how different is it when you're dealing with
Mm,
the American thought process, the U.S. Male thought process? Obviously it's a
yeah,
super diverse culture, so
yeah,
it'll be interesting. I'm very interested to see how you would work in in
yeah.
our landscape, so to speak.
Yeah, that's a really insightful question. Yeah, I don't really have an answer to it, but I think so. I've coached a lot of clients, and they've been from all different backgrounds. And
Gotcha,
I would say that primarily their issues and concerns are very similar. They're all,
gotcha,
uh, it's like there's this kind of running theme or running thread throughout it all, and it's that I'm very capable. I've got a good job. I've established my career. I'm pretty successful in life, but there's just something that I'm missing. It's that internal self confidence. I still have doubt in myself. I still feel anxious. I once had that confidence, but I somewhere along the way I've lost it. And how
gotcha.
do I get it back? So that's like it's kind of a running theme, but yeah, people from all backgrounds are kind of experiencing the same things. That's what I'm feeling.
You know something else I'm interested in is how do you, or if you have had to combat against all of these clickbait type shows with men that are just like bad mouthing women or telling them, say, yep, leave her alone. She's just about money. Just some of these really. So how are you combating or helping these men not listen to that noise that's out there?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I haven't I haven't delved into that quite a lot yet. So most of the men that I coach, they're quite most of them are quite self-aware, and that's evident from just the simple fact that they've reached out for
Hmm.
some support. To do that, you have to have a level of self-awareness. But I often see a lot of those types of comments on TikTok and Instagram and so forth when men are very reactive in the comments section, and they do make comments like that. Oh, they're only just after money, or don't even
Yeah,
bother. Why bother? And I think to myself that they've obviously experienced some things that have kind of tainted their view.
hmm,
It's a very complex kind of thing to get into, but yeah, I think that colors their opinions, and I haven't really spent a lot of time trying to change those people's minds and convince
gotcha.
them.
Hmm.
I tend to primarily focus on the people that are open to learning more, and yeah, they kind of have that level of self-awareness. I
They're
think is
open.
really important
Yeah.
for successful coaching. Yeah, they're open.
All right, my friend Liz, we are going to get to some letters. Got to get to
Awesome.
some letters. All
It's
right. First,
exciting.
the first letter. Anthony, thank you for having Liz Rose on. I followed her on Instagram for a while, and her tips have helped me overcome some serious social anxiety. So just learning how to relax my face and shoulders made a huge difference. Can't wait to hear more of Brian from Dallas, Texas. So,
Oh, that's such a great message. Thank you. And thank you, Brian.
yeah,
So yeah, that's lovely feedback. I'm genuinely moved to hear that something as simple as softening your face and dropping your shoulders has that kind of impact. That's the power of those small embodied shifts that I talk about. They kind of ripple out into how we carry ourselves and connect with others. So I'm so glad that the tools are resonating with you, and I appreciate you being part of this journey. Stay tuned. There's more to come.
very cool. All right, letter number two. Hey, Anthony, I'm 44 and recently divorced. I've started dating again, and honestly, everything feels new. Liz's content helped me realize I was giving off the wrong vibe without knowing it. Just the reminder to slow down and breathe changed how I enter the room. Reggie from Baltimore, Maryland. Wow.
Awesome. Yeah. Look, I hear a bit of this. I hear quite a lot of this, people coming out of relationships and then having to kind of reestablish themselves. So, Reggie, thank you so much for sharing that. I know a lot of men will relate to it. Stepping back into that dating scene after a major life shift can feel like very uncharted territory. But the fact that you're tuning in, reflecting, and applying something as simple but powerful as slowing down and breathing, it says a lot about your self awareness. So, you're not starting over. You'll think of it as though you're starting fresh with more clarity. So keep going.
Cool. That was well said.
Yeah.
Letter
Yeah.
three. Anthony, please thank Liz for giving such practical advice. As a woman, I wish more men knew how magnetic they could be by just being open, steady, and real. This episode is long overdue. Wow, she's coming at
Nice.
me. Michelle from New Jersey.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you so much, Michelle. That means a lot. I truly believe that when men feel safe to show up with openness, steadiness, and authenticity, everyone benefits from that. It shifts the dynamic in relationships, workplaces, and in their everyday interactions. And I'm, really glad that this resonates with you. I hope it sparks more of the kind of connection that we all want more of. So, thank you.
This is awesome. Okay, we're going to take our next break. We'll be back in 20 seconds here at the Media and Society with your host, Anthony Mitchell, and our special guest, Liz Rose. Welcome back to the Media and Society. It's me, Anthony Mitchell, and our special guest, Miss Liz Rose. From over in Australia, it's about what 1:30 there. So
Yep, just
what
about. Yep.
1:30 p.m.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, that's it.
I had to go crazy with the time, trying to figure out the time. Like, hold on now, you know, because I'm in a
I
different
know.
part of the U.S. too. My producer, my brother, he's in East Coast, and I'm over on Mountain Time. So, you know,
Yeah, it can be
whew,
very confusing. I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was perfect, perfect timing. So,
Yeah.
all right, becoming magnetic is our next segment. I want to get a little practical now. So, say a man's listening right now. He knows he has a habit of shrinking in meetings, avoiding eye contact in public, or tensing up when speaking. What's step one for him?
Okay, I would say step one is awareness without judgment. So just notice without trying to fix, how does your body react in those moments? Do your shoulders get tense? Do your eyes dart away? Once you see that pattern, you can start small. So, it might be something like one breath, one grounded stance, or one moment of eye contact. And you've got to remember that confidence isn't a leap, it's a series of small, steady steps that get
Hmm.
you back into presence. Yeah.
Love it, love it. Give us a few quick wins. Three body language changes a man can practice today. Listening to
Okay,
this
excellent.
episode today, what are three changes?
All right, absolutely. Here are three quick wins for you. So the first one would be stand with intent. So plant your feet shoulder width apart, soften your knees. That grounded stance just shifts your whole energy. So that's one. Number two would be to relax their face. So drop the jaw, unfurrow the brow, and just have a nice calm face that signals calm leadership.
Mhm.
Okay, so number two. And number three, I would say hold eye contact just a second longer. So not a stare, just steady and relaxed presence. It shows that you're comfortable in your own skin. So I think start there, small shifts, big impact.
Oh, awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
So, Liz, I love how you talk about confidence as embodiment, not performance, right? How does
Yeah.
someone begin that mindset shift? Because that seems to be very difficult to do. Um, just if you've been the person that just, I'm going to show up confident, right? So how do they shift that? How do they change that in their mind?
Yeah, well, it starts by dropping the idea, like you said, that confidence is something that you put on. True confidence isn't about performing a role. It's about, returning who you are when you're not trying to impress anyone.
Hmm.
And that shift happens when people stop asking, how do I look? And start asking, how do I feel in my body? So notice your breath, notice your tension, bring awareness to how you carry yourself before you say a word. And when you align your inner calm with your outer posture, confidence stops being an act and it will slowly over time become your default. And I think the other thing too is um, something that's really helpful is I tell people to take the focus off themselves and put
Hmm.
it onto the other person. So really focus on the other person, engage with the other person, ask questions about the other person. Stop thinking about how do I look, how am I coming across, what clever thing do I want to say next.
Hmm.
So focus off yourself and focus onto the other person, and that will really help.
Wow. And it's crazy because some of this stuff is just that you're saying is just really simple.
It's
And
very simple. It's all very simple. Absolutely, it really is.
it's simple and it's just, but it's difficult. It's difficult to change from how
Yes.
you've been to how you're trying to
A
become,
hundred percent.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it. It's not
So,
easy.
so, so, Madam Liz, if people want to take your course, what can they expect and what do you hope they walk away with feeling?
Well, my first objective was to create something real. So this course isn't about hype or bravado or pretending to be something that they're not. I want people to be able to rebuild self respect from the inside out. And I provide the practical tools, reflection prompts on body language shifts and mindset upgrades that will actually stick for people. So it's very real, very tangible, very actionable. And what I hope that they walk away with is a good, deep sense of grounded confidence
Hmm.
because, like I said, that's the common thread in all of my coaching. And I want them to have that deep, grounded confidence, the kind that doesn't need to prove anything.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. To our listeners, if you've ever felt misunderstood, overlooked, or underestimated, maybe it's not your words. Maybe it's the story your body's been telling. Tonight, we were reminded that confidence isn't just volume, it's vibration, it's alignment. Big thanks and shout out to Miss Liz Rose for being a part of this with us and pouring into this community. Her work is more than informational, it's transformational. Liz, thank you so much. And if this episode resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, re listen, take notes, and start practicing the power of presence. If you try something Liz suggested and it changes how someone responds to you, let us know. Email us at themediansociety@gmail.com or reach us at The Median Society on Instagram. Looking forward to more letters. And thanks again, Liz. We look forward to having you as a part of the Median Society family going forward. Thanks again. Have a good night.